Hey Magicals, happy Monday! Right, so we're going to do an energy update today. I know it's a little bit weird. I've got the lights on and all of that, but if you can see that my eye's very red, don't worry. I don't have pink eye. I got makeup in my eye this morning while I was painting the barn. Okay, guys. And then it's been fine. And then as I said that, it got all dramatic and weepy. What's up with it? Okay, right, guys. Here's the thing. Firstly, for those of us in the southern hemisphere, can we feel the gentle crispness coming in the mornings and at night? Oh, I'm so loving the fact that we are coming up to autumn equinox. It's honestly my second favorite season. I'm so excited. Very big equinox. I'm actually going to be doing a kind of pop-up meditation clearing vibe on Thursday night, on the night of equinox, because it's powerful energy and we're in between two eclipses and the planets are really, as much as we moan about retrogrades, they really are working in our favor to step into the new story of our lives. Not even the next chapter. I said in one of my other energy updates, it's like we're writing a trilogy and we're going into the next book. Okay. Gosh, my eye doesn't look great. Oh well. Okay, guys. So today's energy update is going to be a little bit of a mishmash. I'm going to do this. Okay, hold on. Let me slow down. Kelso's like, what the fuck, chick? What's in your tea? Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to do the conversation around decisions today. But I also had a lady reply to one of my videos, and she asked, how do we know if it's not meant for us anymore? Okay. I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well, but Kelso has says he wants me to draw one of my favorite witchy deck cards for us because we're going into equinox. I am just now going to do, I've been guided to do a pop-up Ascended Masters reading, which I've never done before. So that's also going to go out today on my reading channel. But a lot of messages are wanting to come through. There's a lot of powerful energy at the moment. So we're just going to go with it and play into it. Okay. So just bear with me because this is the deck that I have to, I do have to actually read from the book. It's not really a traditional one. Three of Earth. I need one card, Kelso. These cards are a little bit tricky to shuffle. Top of. Okay. So if you feel like you said, just take the top one. The top one is the one that's meant to be there. Okay. So we've got the five of air, which is traditionally 5 of swords. How beautiful that, the owls in the rain. Northern Hemisphere, you guys are going into spring. I want to say that whichever which way you are, so whether you're Northern Hemisphere or Southern Hemisphere, I cannot reiterate enough how important this time for clearing energy is. Okay, whatever is no longer serving you, you are needing to let go of and are needing to walk away from. This really is, with all the planetary stuff that's going on and planets going into signs that they haven't been in for 160 years. So none of us really know what the consequences of that are. We can kind of guess because, we've got an idea of what the planets do and that kind of stuff. But we really don't know for sure how we're all going to respond with everything else going on around us, okay? What I want to say is make sure that you are using this time wisely. Kelso was saying to me that we need a lot of time at the moment for introspection. Okay. I was actually going to do this tomorrow, but he's saying you may as well just mention it now. Okay. All right. There's a lot going on here now. He just needs to calm down. He's such a goddamn overachiever. Why did they send me the overachiever guide? Couldn't they have sent me the one that, calm down, don't any panic. Okay. Okay. 5 of air here in this, it's the Witch's Wisdom Tarot, right? Sacrifice, acceptance, integrity, higher purpose. How many times have we had this higher purpose, divine purpose, life purpose, soul purpose, authenticity? How many times? We've had this come out so much in the last few weeks. This is a card of choice and consequence. You cannot make this shit up. I'm about to talk to you about decisions. In life, we often have to give up one thing for another. Consider what you've been asked to sacrifice. You gotta love spirit. Like, seriously? Certain roles, like being a parent, an apprentice, or the one in charge, may require you give more than you seem to receive. Love comes with responsibilities. When you take on what you give yourself to, what you serve will create your character and your life. Be sure it's worthy of you. I mean, mic drop. Really, for spirit, mic drop. Like, just walk away and just like the day's done. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's completely self-explanatory. I mean, for the love of God and earth, holy. There's not. I don't even know what to say to that. I'm a little bit shocked, but anyway, we'll go with it, right? So this is very much a time for that, focusing on what you're wanting to build, where you're placing your energy, discernment, right? Again, it's like that seven of coins kind of energy. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Are people showing up for me? Okay. The first thing I want to talk to you about are physical symptoms at the moment. The Schumann resonance is doing its own thing at the moment. That thing's having a party all by itself, and it's rocking the Quavo and Lime, let me tell you. The Schumann resonance is through the roof at the moment, which is indicating how much energy is pumping into our energetic fields and into our planet space, okay? Which means that we are having to manage our energy quite seriously. There is going to be a lot of excessive thirst, a lot of excessive exhaustion. Guys, if you can rest, please make sure that you are resting. That is not a joke. Okay, fatigue is a real thing, and if you are going to try and activate things, we've just had a little kingfisher join us as well, which is a really abundant and beautiful sign. Kingfishers, it's a malachite, so it's blue. Its tail is like the same color as my shirt, a little bit brighter. It's a male. It's actually my little dude, Rooney, and this is a beautiful. I haven't seen him for weeks. I'm so relieved to see him. It's a beautiful sign of abundance and change and shifting into spaces of joy. Okay, I'm very happy to see him again. I've been worried about him. Okay, so what I want to talk to you about as well is that with all of this energy going on, one of the biggest activations I'm told that we are going to be having is our throat chakra activation. Why? Because we're needing to speak our truth. Why is that important? Because we are needing to make decisions. Okay, so Kelso is saying the two chakras at the moment that we're needing to focus on are our solar plexus. We're needing to do things that empower us and make us feel strong within ourselves, because that is our decision-making center, right? And our throat chakra is how we communicate that and how we get that out into the world, how we present ourselves to the world as well. Very, very important that we are taking care of our solar plexus and our throat chakra, which means, because this makes complete sense, actually now, a couple of days ago, I actually had a sore throat, is that you may end up with a bit of a sore throat or a bit of a scratch or not being able to talk. I know when I was doing the pop-up readings for the eclipses, I know a couple of people, I struggled to actually get words out because my throat just closed, which means they were really needing to focus on going into that space in their lives, right? Okay, so please just be aware of that. Make sure that you are grounded and that you're drinking a lot of water, people. I'm not saying flood your kidneys, let's not be dramatic, but we do want to keep ourselves grounded. And also the reason why we always advocate not just to stay hydrated, but also because water actually shifts energy around our body. So while you are healing and while you're going through the recalibrations, it assists us in getting the energy around into our systems where it needs to go. Okay, they travel on little things called nadis, which are basically like little energetic veins and things, and it goes along that system, but the water does help facilitate the energy move. Okay, right, so that's all the physical stuff that's coming up. The Schumann resonance, just so you understand, has shown a couple of black lines in the last couple of days, which just does energetically mean timeline jumps. So just be aware of that. I have spoken to you about that in depth lately as well. Okay, so just be clear on that. Right. Okay, what are we starting with? Okay, decisions. Right. Okay, while we're talking about decisions, I just want to get a little book out here. Right, so one of the things that has become a big thing over the last couple of weeks, Kelsey and I've had this conversation, and I've been meaning to get this to you. For those of you who don't know, I live in Durban, South Africa, and last week was chaos. We've had flooding in like 2 or 3 weeks in a row, really, to be fair. Last week's were quite bad, so we've had like intermittent Wi-Fi and power's gone down and all sorts of fun stuff that happens when Mother Gaia is purging, when she's purging and she's clearing. Okay, so this was supposed to go out last week. Make sure that when you are making your decisions, you are choosing to make them from the healed version of yourself. Okay. What I mean by that is when something comes into your space, and believe me, over the next couple of weeks, things will be coming into your space to trigger this in you, right? We've got Mercury in retrograde, which is communication, throat chakra, and we've got Venus in retrograde, which is how we take care of ourselves, what do we need, what do we want for our lives, what do we feel passionate about, all of that kind of. Venus is very much about beauty and love and luxury and those kinds of energies. So we're looking at that very strongly in the next couple of weeks while Venus is still in retrograde until it's, I want to say the 23rd or the 29th of April. Okay, Mercury goes direct on the 7th of April. So taking us in now, Thursday we go into Aries season, right? So technically the first month of the new astrological calendar, right? Big energy. It's on solstice kind of, it's on solstice. So putting that out there gently in the corner. Or do we go? Yeah, it is. It's Thursday, Friday. We go into Aries energy. Okay, so in saying all of that, what you're needing to be very careful about at the moment is how you're making your decisions and where your decision-making process is coming from. Okay. When we make decisions that disempower us, it means we're working from our comfort zones and our woundings. When we make decisions that we self-sabotage on ourselves, we are making those decisions from our woundings. You are really having to focus at this time and learn to make decisions from your healed space, because those are not always going to be the easy decisions, but they're going to be the right decisions, if that makes sense. So, for example, let's just say you've always been betrayed in love, but you've been doing a lot of work on yourself. You've been doing a lot of self-love. You've been doing a lot of work around trust and betrayal and raising your vibration so that you don't attract that in. How to know that you still have a part of you that is unhealed is going to be a case of someone shows up in your space, and it's very possible. It's very, very possible, right? And it does not mean that the person showing up is necessarily going to be a toxic person or a person who is there to damage you. It could be the opposite. They could be really good for you and are teaching you how to learn through it as a part of your lesson. But the reality is the decision around that is, are you toxic or are you safe? I'm using this as a very basic example, guys. You can use it in any which way, shape, or form. It could be in an opportunity that comes up for work. Are you going to repeat the same toxic cycle you're wanting to leave in your old position, or are you going to move something? Is it something genuine? But the element underneath this is the trusting your intuition to make sure that your decision is right. Okay, I've spoken to you a lot lately about trusting our intuition and going back into those spaces to work with our intuition and to get things like that really on point at the moment, because it's imperative that we do work from those places. Now, here's the thing. When the person comes along or the opportunity comes along, I'm going to go with the example of the person, right? When the person comes along and you're sitting there going, no, mate, I feel like this is going to happen all over again, and you're sitting there waiting for the shoe to drop, the part of you that hasn't healed is going to show up very, very loudly, where you are still not trusting yourself and you are also just throwing the baby out with the bathwater in order to avoid getting hurt, which is a form of self-sabotage. So that normally comes from an abandonment wounding, right? Guys, make sure that you, like, when you're sitting down, because a lot of our right decisions are the hard decisions to make. It's the ones that push us out of our comfort zones. When you are making your decisions in the next couple of weeks, please make sure that you are clear on where those decisions are coming from. So does it trigger you in a way like, oh, that feels like it's hard to do? Because that trigger is going to get you out of your comfort zone. Does it trigger you in a way going, not sure I can trust you? Because that's going to talk to you about your intuition. Or is it going to trigger you in a way going, not a chance, I'm not taking a chance on this, it can't possibly be what I need it to be? Because that's going to speak to your self-sabotage, and that's going to be speaking to the part of you that you haven't healed. Okay, very basic very basic example, but a really easy way for you to know where your decisions are coming from. And it's really vitally important that you learn this at this point in time. We have been given the opportunity to rewrite our stories, guys. I know I sit here and I say that a lot, but I have to own this now, because I've got into a space in my life where I'm no longer happy with my life. Um, I've felt it in different ways over the last couple of years, and I've been honest about it when I've spoken about it. See, it's hard for me to talk to my throat's getting sore. And yet, I'm still making decisions that self-sabotage me. I'm still making decisions that create situations in my life that don't allow me freedom. And I'm doing it. I'm still, after all the work that I have done, I'm still working from my programming, which means I'm not evolving at the rate and at the speed and in the direction that I want to be going. And it's very frustrating for me. So I have had to have a long, hard look about this. And I've had to look at the stories I tell myself, where I feel like I'm restricting myself, where I'm actually restricting myself. Okay. And I've had to look at the decisions that I make that create that scenario in my life. The next couple of weeks are going to be very much about this for us. Not negotiable. If we don't do it, and if we don't show up for ourselves and try and negotiate this process on our own, you're going to have a situation where the universe does step in. And I always say that to you. It's a fuck around and find out kind of energy, guys. Rather try and do it on your own. I know that I really, really want my life to change in different ways. But to be brutally honest, I'm still not putting in the work. I might be putting in a lot of work to my life, but it's not necessarily the right kind of work that needs to be made and to be done in order for me to get to where I need to be, because I'm still self-sabotaging in different ways. And that is so hard to admit, because I have done so much work. You guys took the journey with me sort of kind of almost last year, when I was working on all my self-sabotage, and I was working on trying to get out of that whole abandonment wounding around mother abandonment issues. So for me to have to sit here and say this to you is very hard. It's very hard, but it's very true. And if I can't admit it to others, I'm never going to be able to admit it to myself. And that's the first way we need to change things. So please be very aware of where your decision-making processes are coming from at this point. It is vital in order for us to move forward. Okay. I want to touch on quickly about, I always say what's not serving us and what no longer serves us. And a lady had a really good question. How do we know that? How do we know what's no longer good for us? And there are a couple of signs. Like me now, with the decisions that I make that are self-sabotaging my life, that are not getting me to where I want to be, okay? Those decisions, they need to go. I need to change my decision-making process in order for me to move forward. So if something is keeping you stuck, it needs to go. But you need to be honest about that, because it's very easy for us to sit here and going, the universe is smiting us and we're being punished for this, and I didn't do this when I was 12, and so now I'm being punished. What a load of crap, right? Yes, we get our karma, but karma is a direct, and it's an opposite and equal reaction to something you have done. Let's be clear about that. There's no menace or punishment or anything like that around karma. Okay? So if you've been a shitty person, well, good luck with that. If you've been a good person, then things will come. Okay? Now, that's the first thing. So the things in your life that are holding you back, but you need to be honest about that, because it's going to look at you coming out of comfort zones. It's going to look at you having to change how you do things, and that's hard. And life's hard enough at the moment. But I'm kind of going, I've worked so hard on myself. I love myself so hard. After 46 years, I'm worth the effort. So I need to recalibrate around that. Okay. The other thing is when you get into situations around people and places, In fact, something similar came up in terms of my cards when I put the reveal out, because my reveal was very late for last week on my Facebook. The one card is about listening to the wisdom of your body and what it's telling you. When you are eating stuff that is making you feel sick or drinking stuff that is making you feel sick, your body's going to let you know. Listen to it. When you are in situations where you are uncomfortable around people, or you constantly feel tired, or people constantly disrespect your boundaries, I'm going to say this again for the cheap seats at the back. Your boundaries are your boundaries. Nobody needs to understand them. They just need to respect them. As an equal consequence to wanting people to respect that, right? You have to respect theirs unequivocally and unconditionally. No questions asked. If you wanting to people approach your boundaries like that. Okay? Learning to see where people are really not showing up. Taking the rose-tinted glasses off because you've put somebody on a pedestal. That shit has to come to an end. We are all equal, but we are all different. We are all different. Right? Where I'm strong in some things, I'm not strong in other things. So where I've got my spirituality and my emotional and my mental stuff on board, my physical stuff sucks because I'm still a fatty. Right? And financially, I'm not as independent as I want to be. Okay? Those are the things that we need to look at. Seriously. And be honest about this stuff. Okay? Stop putting people on pedestals, because you automatically do that with rose-tinted glasses. And you're not going to pay attention to the red flags that come up. So when somebody is showing you who they are, for the love of God, believe them, because they know themselves better than you do, and step away from the vehicle. If they are consistently not showing up for you, if they are consistently disrespecting you, if you consistently feel drained or tired or resentful after you've spent time with somebody, okay, those are things saying to you, I need to step away. It's time. I really, really need to step away. I'm not happy with this. And you are allowed to take breaks. If the people that you're surrounding yourself with, A, love you unconditionally, which they should, and respect you, and understand that we all sometimes are at capacity and can only do so much, then you should be able to take a break from that space for a little bit, recalibrate, and come back again. And if it's still too much, walk away. Really, walk away. When you are going to environments that are so toxic that it's making you feel physically ill, or you are not happy at the end of the day, that's how you know things are not good for you. Guys, your body will tell you in every which way, shape, and form possible. Whether it's a feeling, whether it's a thought, whether it's like just that deep sigh because you've got to rev yourself up to deal with this. If it's actually physically getting sick, okay, pay attention to everything that's going on in your meat suit, because our spirit is our meat suit at the moment. It's involved in every aspect of our meat suit. So our spirit will be involved in these energies and this letting you know, right? Pay attention. Pay attention to what doesn't feel right for you. The biggest problem, and the reason why people don't know when something isn't right for them anymore, because we are so conditioned to make society feel comfortable. We are so conditioned to put everybody else before us. That's bullshit. You can't pull from an empty cup. You cannot pull from an empty cup. So if you guys are all running on empty and you're still perpetuating that need to fix everybody and do everything, take a step back, my friend. Take a step back, reassess, give yourself some time. Okay? Because at the end of the day, really and truly at the end of the day, what's going to happen is that you're going to burn out and be resentful. And so that's when fights happen. That's when unnecessary conflicts happen. And sometimes people may not be good for you at that moment in time. It doesn't mean that you have to get rid of them for eternity, but sometimes you just need to take a reprieve. Like I said, take a break. Go back again. If you're not ready for it, take another break. Right? Don't play with people. I'm not saying that you get to play with people in their lives. What you get to do is you can just say to some guys, I need some space for myself. When I was going through that healing, the people that I'm in contact with the most, I let them know, I'm drowning. This is too hard for me. I need some time to actually recalibrate, do what I need to do. And if I don't have the energy now, I'm still honest about it. I'm sorry that I haven't read your message, but I'm at full capacity right now. As soon as I get a chance, and as soon as I can catch my breath, then I will look at it. But until such time, I'm managing me because I'm at full capacity, right? You have to learn to start putting yourself first. When we stop trying to please everybody, when we stop with this whole social convention of having to do the right thing all the time and having to be there for everybody, what a crock of shit. You cannot physically be there for everybody all the time. It's not possible. Okay? You're not an archangel. Yes, you are a consciousness, but you're trapped in a very real meat suit at the minute, and that only allows you a certain amount of leeway. And you're also not going to be spending, if you are able to, every moment of your day astral traveling to try and resolve people's issues in spirit. Like, let's be honest, okay? It's very much now about you getting very, very serious about yourself, about putting yourself first. Venus retrograde is going to bring a lot of this up, guys, because Venus retrograde is very much about that. As much as Venus is about love and all of that, self-love comes first. It does come first. And you have to start making the decisions around that. Again, the decisions you make, where are they coming from? Self-sabotage? Fear? Or are they coming from a place of healing and healed? It's that same energy of when I was doing the thing and I'd spoken to my friend Mish, and I actually said it on one of the other videos, where I said I'm trying to put out videos and I'm struggling because I'm in the middle of this healing and all that. And she said she was in a writing group, and she said, they said to us, you don't write from the wounding, you write from the scar. Right? You don't choose from the wounding, you choose from the healing or the healed. Okay? Because if you're in the process of healing, I'm telling you now, I bumped into someone that I hadn't seen for a very long time, and we know each other, like, socially, like, we've met 2 or 3 times, right? Very, very vague, not a lot. And we went to the same function, and we were chatting, and he said to me, Mara, I will fight to the death now to defend my peace of mind, because he's also just come through a huge healing. He's also a spiritual guy. And I said, seriously, same thing here. Went through this healing, and I will fight to the death. I am very comfortable with losing people if it means I've got peace of mind. And I will say what I need to say in order to gain that peace of mind. And I'm not saying you have to be unkind. I've always maintained this. It's how we say things and how we do things. Okay, it's not in what needs to be done. It's in the execution of what needs to be done that makes the difference. It's how we execute what we do. You can have the best intentions and the shittiest execution, and it'll go tits up every time. Okay? Please make sure that you are checking where your decisions are coming from. But more importantly, really looking at what's not serving you anymore. Okay. Now, in light of that, Kelso wanted me to talk to you about something. I was going to do a little video on this, but I'll just add it into this quickly at the end. Because we are in Mercury, and Mercury is a communications planet, and it's in Mercury retrograde, but we are, guys, you know what? I have to be honest. I've been the biggest culprit of this. I'm like, oh my God, we're heading for Mercury retrograde. Okay, and we always doom and gloom it. Here's the thing. The retrogrades actually help us with introspection. That just pisses us off because it means we've got to do the work. Let's be honest. But every planet that goes retrograde is giving us a chance for introspection in certain areas of our life. One of the biggest calls, and I've noticed this looking at other people, like watching YouTube readers and all of that, and other people that have been, following the Schumann resonance and all of the planetary stuff and all that. Journaling has come up a lot lately. It's come up a lot, right? And it's funny because I have been called. I've always had a gratitude journal that I write, and I don't write in every day, but I do make an effort to write in my gratitude journal. I give thanks in a million different ways every day, and I sit in nature and I give gratitude again, and I do all of my stuff, right? But I decided that I was going to start actually writing in a journal again, and having decided that, not this weekend that's passed, the last weekend, one of my besties came out from the UK, and he gifted me this absolutely gorgeous, I don't know if you can see it, but there's gold in there. There's actually gold foil. This gorgeous diary. Okay. It's beautiful. It's a painting by William Turner, and it's actually they've made it into a wallpaper. I mean, like, oh, she made it so gorgeous. I digress. And I started thinking that this is such a beautiful diary, such a beautiful book. I don't really want to be writing the doom and gloom that sometimes goes into our journal, like how we're feeling and what's going on. And so I decided I'm going to create a positivity pages diary. And why this is relevant for now, while we're doing our introspection, is about rewriting our stories, rewriting how we see our lives. And I've decided that this journal is going to be a book where I only write happy stories. Past, present, future. Whatever it is, this is going to be my happy writing space. I mean, look how, it's just amazing. It's gorgeous, right? Absolutely gorgeous. And I thought the pink, I'm not a pink person. You all know that. I very seldom wear pink or whatever. But I thought that was a real, pink is the color of self-love. Love, but self-love, right? Particularly if you're doing altars and things for self-love, you always put pink roses onto it. And I just thought, I'm rewriting my story in the happiest possible way that I can. Kelso has asked me to share this with you because one of the things that we need to release at this time are the negative stories that we carry with us. It's very important. It's hugely important that we release these negative stories that we tell ourselves. Okay, because they are going to do more damage than anything. We write into existence by our thought and our words, right? What goes down in our lives. We create our reality. And for me, a big challenge has always been having the faith that everything I need is going to be there, and having everything I need just there, and having flow of everything. And, oh, sorry, my bracelet. Sorry, my bracelet just decided to go flying. And what I need to say about this is that it's now time for us to really change those stories, to rewrite them in different ways. So how I'm doing this is if I start my day and I'm writing in the morning, right? I'm going to write the day that I want. If I'm writing at the end of the day, I'm going to find every single positive thing I can about my day to journal. This has to come from a place of joy and authenticity, though. When we start changing the stories and how we perceive things, everything shifts for us. Okay, so I know it's a little bit of a weird add-on at the end. Go for it. I just go with Kelso, and I'm not, somebody out there needs to hear it. Okay, but start rewriting your story, guys. This is a big one. And in one of my videos, I said to you, this is not just closing a chapter; it's rewriting the story. Okay, so try some positivity pages. See how that goes for you. In the meantime, I will be recording the Ascended Masters, and we'll get that set up for a bit later. So it'll be on the social media platforms that I normally put them on. But guys, take this time seriously. Take this time to really and truly get yourself sorted out. I know a lot of us are feeling like we're just not happy with where our lives are. And a lot of us are making decisions still from places that we should not be making them from. And we're holding on to stuff that no longer serves us. Okay, so I hope this helps you. I hope that it reaches those that need it. I'm sending you all so much love. I do just want to say a massive thank you for all of the likes and the shares and the subscribes and the comments, guys. I love it when you interact. I always reply, maybe a little bit late, but I do always reply. And it really does help just get the algorithm out there so that other people who need the information, it gets to them as well. So please continue. I really am grateful for it. And I'm sending you all so much love. And I will see you all on the flip side. Have a beautiful